What's up, guys? Mike Puma here, and instead of Jeff Beggins, I have actually replaced him with someone younger who actually is probably better at social media than he is, and he also decided just to not show up today.
Yep.
Something about last-minute Valentine's Day gift, I don't know. But I've brought Jessica Beggins on instead.
So you've got a different Beggins with you today.
That's right, and you know what? I'd rather have you, to be honest
Okay,
with
good.
you. So we're going to actually start mixing things up a little bit. I think it's important. Me and Jeff and Craig, tend to go a little high level sometimes, but we're not actually executing at an agent level.
Mm-hmm.
And so moving forward in all of our podcasts and a lot of our content, you're going to actually start seeing agents like Jessica come on and actually share their experience and their struggles and their successes with us and with you. And so you guys can actually get a different perspective. And so just so happened earlier today, me and Jessica were sitting there talking through some ads that she's running. She executes better than a lot of agents in the marketplace. And so we were going through some of the ads that she's running and, finding some different areas that we could improve. And one thing that she mentioned to me was, am I a marketing person? Am I a real estate agent? Like, what am I? Because it
gets confusing. Yeah.
Right, 100%.
Wait a second, I should be selling homes, but then I'm supposed to be creating content, and my mind gets all boggled up with what I'm actually supposed to be doing.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not the only one. I hear this a lot from agents within our own brokerage as well as agents outside,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what me and Jessica want to do is actually spend some time and kind of talk through this, because I know a lot of you watching, and thank you for watching and following us, by the way. We just hit 10,000 followers, actually over now on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So we really appreciate that. But I know a lot of you are struggling with the same thing, right? You're hearing people like me yell at you to make videos and create content and post it and do all of that. Yet you also have a actual real estate business to run.
Mm-hmm.
And, my reply to that is you have to stop looking at yourself as a real estate agent and look at yourself as a business owner, because that's
Mm-hmm.
essentially what you are. But finding the balance is hard, right?
Yes.
But with all of that said, you've seemed to have done it pretty well. I mean, so for those watching, give them a little context. This is your third year in the business?
Yes, this is my third year in the business.
Okay.
So last year was the first year that I was working on my own. So the first 2 years in the business, I was actually partnered with another agent here in the company. So we would prospect together, go door knocking together, make cold calls together. And we kind of started the social media. We had a shared Facebook, but we weren't focusing on social media at all. So it wasn't until I branched out on my own that I actually started the whole video and trying to figure out social media in general. So last year was my first year really focusing on videos and content online, but while still selling houses.
So year one, not a lot of social media, partnered with another agent.
Mm-hmm.
How many deals did you guys do that year?
Well, okay. So I guess we'll start with my 1 year that I worked with this other agent. We sold, I think it was 24 houses together. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or 25 houses together.
So assuming you guys did 50-50 work, you
Mm-hmm.
sold 12 of them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So year two, you go out on your own.
Yeah. So last year I was out on my own and I sold 24 houses on my own last year.
On your own.
Mm-hmm.
And did you implement social more than the year prior?
100%.
100%. So obviously, you're realizing that it can have an impact on your business.
100%. Yes.
Okay. So how often are you trying to post?
I'm mostly posting on Instagram right now, but I am putting content out on Facebook. I probably post on Facebook 3 to 5 times a week, which I need to be doing a lot more than that. But Instagram, I'm posting every single day, trying to post at least 1 post a day and 7 to 10 stories a day.
7 to 10 stories. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
You're putting out a lot of content.
Yes.
Actually, especially compared to the industry norm and what a lot of other agents are doing. Because I'm sure some agents are sitting there right now watching this going, holy hell, she's putting out 7 stories a day? I don't even know what a story is.
Right.
Right? I know that's going through their head.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you're also struggling with, though, I know I probably should do more, but how do I do more and focus on the business? So
right.
For you, what is the struggle there? Do you believe you're finding a balance of posting? Like, have you figured out a cadence that works for you? Like, do you post in the morning and then focus on real estate the rest of the day? Like, how does that work for you?
It's kind of throughout the whole day,
Okay.
only because stories are supposed to be real time, what's going on in your life.
Yep.
So that is definitely something I'm working on all day. But as far as the actual posts go, I'm actually using an app called Plan, Plann, and I sort out my whole grid. I get all of my content loaded and I schedule the posts.
I love it.
So my phone will notify me, hey, it's time to post. And I go into my app and I put it on Instagram.
I love it. I love it. So download that app if you haven't. Is there a cost to that app?
So I think they just started making it it's not a paid app at first. You get your every month I think you can upload 30 photos for free. So if you're uploading 30 for the month, you're doing one a day.
Okay.
You can make that work. But sometimes I'm posting 3 posts a day. It just depends, what day of the week it is. Okay. So I am paying for it, but I think it's $14.99 for the whole quarter.
Okay. So it's very inexpensive.
It's
if for some reason you literally have $0, worst case scenario to kind of follow the same footprint is kind of have your stuff ready on your phone or in Canva or wherever you're going to.
There's another app called Planoly. Planoly.
Okay, yep, I've heard of that one as well. Yeah.
Those are both really good apps to use that you can kind of map out what you're going to be posting on Instagram.
And you can do the same thing. Facebook has it built into Facebook. So you can go into your Facebook and actually plan out your posts there. Absolutely. Schedule the posts out. So that is definitely one way to do it. So when you're creating content, though, I know a lot of the agents that I talk to really struggle with the creation versus documentation just of what they're doing, right? To your point, you said, stories are really about what's going on in your life. And I agree. I think a lot of agents struggle with just taking it and saying, hey, we're doing a podcast and videoing that and putting that out in a story. And rather
you have to think of it. If it's not top of mind, it's not something you're like, hey, I need to document this. And then you feel rude when you pull out your phone somewhere and you're like, wait, let me show everybody what I'm doing. Well, why do you want to show everybody what you're doing? Everyone's trying to be to themselves now and all this stuff, but everyone knows what you're doing all the time. So just let it out.
Absolutely. And the punchline of it is, like we were talking about earlier, whether, you're selling flowers or, a restaurant or a real estate agent, you're a business owner that has to tell the world that your product, your service is good. Right. And there's only one way to do that in today's world. I shouldn't say that. There's multiple
more
ways.
Than one way.
There's multiple ways, but there's only
one way I have fun doing it.
Especially at scale, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, could you go knock on doors in 97-degree heat here in Tampa and get deals? Absolutely.
I've done that before with sweat dripping into my eyes and I got pink eye one time. I'm just going to be brutally honest. It was awful.
That is terrible. That is insult to injury right there. So I mean, listen, anything works, but you were self-aware enough, when we were talking today to say, but I know I don't like that and I'm not going to do it, at least to the way that it should be done if I'm going to make that my business. Right. But we have some agents in here that literally that's all they do and they're successful.
They have a whole business set off of it.
The punchline for me there, though, is actually being self-aware enough to know what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, what you're willing to go do, and then actually going and doing it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And that is the hard part. And you've done it way better than many agents, which is probably why you're consistently one of our top agents. But I think for those out there, what was that hump? Because I know in the beginning when you first started doing videos, me and Jeff would sit there and we would razz you more than we would razz a lot of people. Because you are family. So we would sit there and razz you about, hey, did you do video today? Did you video today? But what was it? Was there something that clicked or something you figured out that allowed you to just start posting and start creating more often?
I think it was the feedback that I was getting when I did post a video. People would comment and they'd say, great video, thanks for the info. Or, I mean, even as I got better with my videos, people were asking for another video on a certain topic that they had questions about. So I think just the engagement with the people who liked my content made me want to post more.
Absolutely. So you started getting the feedback and realized I'm actually bringing value
here.
Yeah,
people like this? Okay, I guess I'll keep
I'll
going.
Give them more of it. Now, in that first video, I don't know if you recall which one it was, but obviously there's a starting point for everyone. We actually keep on Beggins3.com, when you scroll down, our very first video is on there, and I leave it there, and it will be there forever because it's always just fun to go back every so often and watch it
and see how much you've grown.
At 100%, like quality wise, like just everything. But in the beginning, where a lot of people get caught is they do that first video. Maybe they do 4 videos, and they're not getting as much feedback. They're not getting the engagement. It's not there yet.
I mean, when I say I got engagement, it wasn't, 400 views and 50 comments. It was like 2 people that comment on all my stuff anyways, but it still gave me the courage to keep going.
Yeah.
So I did not get a lot in the beginning. I'm still not getting too much, but I think people are interested.
But it's built.
It's built, much more now.
It's snowballed. And so it's taken a little over a year for it to like really start to
for people to notice when I'm not posting.
Right. Yeah. Because now it's more of like people like, hey, where's the video? Right. Like they're actually looking for it.
People see me and they're like, I haven't seen you online in a while. Right. So everyone out there now, I've been posting so long, they're holding me accountable for not producing content.
Now, have you gotten at least one deal over the last 24 from being active on social?
No,
not one deal. So this is important. It's actually.
Awful.
Like, I want people to hear this because it's not a magic bullet.
No,
right?
It's not.
It is a brand game. Now, on the paid side, you could make it more of a sales game.
I have not taken time to do the paid stuff yet.
Right. You just
So I have not really used it as a sales game. This is something I'm just posting on I post it on my business page, and then I share it to my personal, and I probably on average get 350 to 400 views.
But my argument is for a lot of people, the people that you're following, right? I know you follow Rachel, right?
Yes. Rachel Hollis. She's amazing.
Follow her. She's awesome. Gary V, like a lot of people follow Gary. All these people, you watch these videos, and we were just looking at Disney toy collector who literally plays with toys in front of a camera, which to a lot of people, including myself, is a little creepy, but my kids love her, right? And so we look at those videos and we're like, man, 11 million subscribers, 72,000 views, 1 million views, and then that becomes your expectation.
Right.
And so when you get 300, you're actually discouraged.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there pushing you saying, hey, that's 300 people that saw you and engaged with you in some capacity that would not have unless you posted that video. So
I've never gotten a sale from it. I've never actually generated cash flow from posting these videos, but people use me as a resource and come to me for questions. I had someone call me the other night, and should I shout him out on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Debbie Bodiford, thank you, which is my best friend's mom, so I guess that's just how it goes. But she called me because she wanted real estate advice. She is redoing her bathroom and had some questions on how to renovate it, and I was the first person that she thought to call about a real estate question.
Huge.
Yeah, so people ask me rental questions, they ask me about lending options, they ask me about, I already said renting. Renting's probably the most popular only because I'm
younger.
25.
Yeah, you're younger, for sure.
But people come to me when they have questions about real estate. So, which is my whole goal behind doing this, is just being top of mind. And then eventually I will see people coming to me to purchase houses. But right now.
Absolutely. It's a brand game. But the fact that even like this is where people get caught though too, because you would think, and it's human nature, I think it all the time, your best friend's mom should know to call you. Right. But she won't. Right. Like, I'm
especially
because
I don't live in her city anymore. Now I'm in Tampa. I'm not in Apollo Beach anymore.
Even if you were, I don't think she like, it's not how we work. I mean, I guarantee you, I could probably call 2 of my best friends right now who don't really understand what I do for a living. Right. Like we just have this conception because we're all
in it every single day.
Friends, right? That like everyone knows everything, but they really don't unless you're telling them. But what you're doing is working, and that is the goal. I mean, how much does it cost you to post?
$0.
0.
But this is where my confusion comes in, because yes, it costs me $0 to post, but as a realtor, time is money. And if all my time is spent generating posts that I'm not actually getting paid for, I get discouraged because there are people who do this for a job for companies and get paid to do it. And then I'm
one of those
my
people.
Own company. Right. And I'm doing the same thing, but I'm not actually getting paid for it. So in November, I stopped producing videos because I said, this is stupid. I'm not making any money, and I have a full-time job already being a real estate agent. Why do I want to also have a full-time job of being a social media coordinator for my business? But then it's my business, so I have to.
Yeah.
So this has been my struggle the past couple of months.
And I get it, right? Like at the end of the day, your dad is a business owner, right? He has the luxury of have scaled, and so now he can hire people like me and other people to do those things for him that he doesn't enjoy doing.
Right.
Luckily, he has the self-awareness and foresight to know that that stuff is needed and it's important, but he also knows that he's not going to do it himself.
Right.
And so he brings on people like me and your sister and other people who can really help with that, right?
Right. But he's been around for 25 years.
He has, and he's put in the work.
He already has a brand.
Yep, he's built the brand, and he built the brand in ways that worked over the last 26 years.
Right.
Those ways have obviously, continuously changed. They're changing every day. And as that's changed, he's had to do different things, bring on different people who are going to be able to help the business grow in the future. You are a small business owner.
Yes.
Which means
I'm
you
starting
are
from
all
scratch.
of the above. You are literally the marketing person, the finance person, the salesperson, the customer service. Like, you handle it all, which I get, and I'm completely empathetic to. But at the end of the day, you stopped, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have to do it. And that goes for everyone watching. Like, it really does. I get it. And it may mean that you have to stay up an extra hour at night so that you can plan out your content or post, or, one of the strategies I went through with Jessica this morning was, Gary talks about this a lot. So if you follow Gary V, he, go back and watch some of his stuff. But literally, if you are an agent in a market, go into Instagram, search that local area, go into the top 9 posts and start commenting, start engaging. Because if you don't have dollars to spend on ads, that's free. And yes, it's time, right? But unless you have actual money,
right,
the time isn't worth the money, right? So it really isn't. And that is the only asset you have to trade on at that point. Once you get dollars, then then you start running ads and things change because you can scale much faster.
Right.
So I think you get it. I think you're pushing stuff out there for sure. And I'm sure your clients appreciate it, because now when you sit down in front of a client and they look at your brand presence, right? Because that's what everyone, I think, doesn't get either, especially in today's world. As the sellers get younger, right? They're also engaging in social media themselves.
Right.
They expect you to be on there, right? And if I was selling my house 100%, I would take a look and see what you're doing, right? Of course, the brokerage is important and everything else, but I want to know what you're doing, because ultimately you're the one who's going to sell my house.
Right.
So I'm sure your sellers appreciate all the effort and video and you being a resource for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So if you have questions.
I may have actually sold a house through Facebook, but I don't know. I had already known the person, so it wasn't like a random person watched my videos and wanted to use me as their real estate
But it's
agent.
top of mind. Right?
It was a top of mind thing, yes.
Right. So it's a brand game. And that's the most important piece of this is you guys have to go into this realizing that if you get 5 people to watch your video, that's 5 people that are now thinking of you in that capacity that weren't before.
Right.
Right. It's important.
And I didn't have to knock on a door.
And you didn't have to knock
to
on
be
a
top
door.
of mind.
Right. Which is also, if you're
and
not
I think
gonna do
people like that. I don't know. This is when it changed for me for door knocking, when the Ring doorbells came into play, and I was knocking one side of the street one day, and this person didn't answer, so I left a flyer on their door, and then I go back on the other side of the street. I'm walking down the opposite way, and that person pulls into their driveway and says, "Hey, I watched you put that flyer on my door while I was in line at Publix." And I was like, oh, God, this is it. No more door knocking. This is too much for me. So that's what happened. I don't like to do that. And I don't think people like answering their doors anymore. But
people don't even like answering their phones anymore.
So, no, yeah.
Yeah, like try calling Jeff without texting
Right.
first. See how that works out.
Never.
Right now, everyone's different. Your dad would prefer to be called.
Yes.
Right? Like, so everyone's different, but by and large in today's world, you're 100% right.
Yeah. I think that the whole door knocking thing, it works for some people and maybe for specific reasons as to why you're door knocking. That's a good idea. But I think I'm really liking the whole top of mind situation. I think it will create a long-term business.
It will. You're creating a pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And while using opportunities here that are immediate kind of sales for you, right? We have a ton of programs within our brokerage, and I'm sure all the other brokerages watching, I'm sure, have similar programs that can help you get immediate business while you build this pipeline. And that's the key, is create a framework that allows you to pay your bills and eat tonight, but also fill that pipeline so that you have, you know, an actual business, and not what Jeff talks about all the time, which is this little up and down doing transactions and not actually building a business, which is so popular in this industry.
It's huge. Yeah. That's basically what all realtors do.
So
we go like this.
If you have questions, obviously, you know, feel free to contact us. We're going to tag Jessica in this post as well, because a lot of times agent to agent is really powerful.
Yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
And, you know, if you're a client that's watching and you're even remotely thinking about selling your house, absolutely reach out to Jessica, because she is truly one of our top agents. And obviously she does know how to navigate social media way more than a lot of agents in the marketplace. So,
I appreciate that. Thank
absolutely. So if you have questions, comment them below, message us any way that you feel is best for you. Reach out to us. We'll get back to you. And until then, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.